Let's move on to the work that you're doing in Citizen Go. This is Waterstones, Stop Pushing Dangerous Gender Ideology at Children, one of your campaigns. And the viewers can see that Waterstones, the UK's leading high street book retailer, has shortlisted a book entitled My Trans Teen Misadventure by Lewis Hancock, a transgender identified female, for its prestigious Children's Book Prize due to be awarded 30th of March. And this is aimed at 14-year-olds. This is unbelievable that Waterstones would be pushing a book like this for their Children's Book Prize, and it's wonderful to see obviously the support this petition has gained. But tell us about this campaign, Caroline.
Well, okay, it's not actually the first time Waterstones have done this. So just before I started the Citizen Go in 2019, they had another book that was about a boy who wanted to be a mermaid, and that was written by an LGBT. I think he might have been a transgender identified man. I'm not entirely sure, but certainly someone who identified as a member of the LGBT community. And it was all about this boy who wants to be a mermaid and a drag queen, and they nominated that as well. And I think clearly the head of Children's is obviously fully on board the woke gender train. Now, the reason that this book caught my attention is because it actually has an adult advisory on the back. So it's been nominated for a children's prize, but with an adult warning advisory on the back. And I don't know if you've been into a Waterstones, but they have their book of their weeks, they have their promos, and being nominated for this book for this award is a real honor. It's really prestigious. It's going to make your book sales rocket, and it's going to make your profile rocket. Now, Waterstones are as you know, they're the UK's leading bookseller. They're really trusted. You know, sometimes you want something to read and you go into Waterstones and you see what they're recommending and you're like, oh, right, okay, I'll have a look. Now, these books are being placed on tables where there's a high footfall of children and adolescents as well. So, but in that kind of child and adolescence area, and you'll see it on the table. We recommend this book. Now, the thing is, as you know, I've got many children. I know exactly what they're like, and they will be attracted to a book and they won't see, oh, that's for older readers. So this book has a cartoon on the front. Welcome to Hell, My Trans Teen Misadventure. It's the sort of thing like my 8-year-old son might pick up because it looks like Horrid Henry or something. You know, it appeals to a younger demographic. He would pick it up and he wouldn't look at the warning on the back, and then he flicks through and he sees these cartoons. Now, all children love cartoons. My children are no different. You know, they like the Beano, they like Bunny and Monkey and Dogman and all. Yeah, all children like cartoons, and that's fine. And Waterstones sell these nice cartoon books, so he would see that, or my 10-year-old daughter might see this, and they'd flick through it. Then you've got that picture, which I've got illustrating the petition, which is basically the author of this book is projecting her own experience as a woman who wanted to be a man when she was an adolescent. And it's just encouraging teenage girls to just self-hate on their bodies. You know, so breasts are two fatty lumps that need to be gone. There's stuff about hairy legs, you know, and then it's, you know, it points to her pubic area and it says, don't go there, and imaginary willy. I mean, no, it's just validating every single hips from hell. So teen girls, almost every teen girl has some neurosis or anxiety about her body. That's entirely and 100% natural. This book is sowing the seeds of self-doubt, of hatred, and it's validating that. And it's saying, oh, the female body is disgusting and something not to be liked. And, you know, there's no way that just a 14-year-old would read that. Probably, actually, many savvy 14-year-olds would go, oh, that's a comic book. You know, I'm well beyond, they might actually turn their noses up at it because it looks maybe a little bit too babyish. So it is clearly designed to appeal to a younger demographic. But even if you were 14 and older, it's validating anxiety, teen girls' anxiety about their body. But worse still, Waterstones then came out with this is one page out of context. No, there's another cartoon where it shows a girl being injected with either puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones. And she was going, yeah, just in time for uni. So it's kind of telling girls, oh my goodness, you've got to get this done before you go to uni. And then you have the nurse, she's learning something from the experience. And then they mentioned Kira Bell, the detransitioner, and they were saying, oh yeah, there was this girl and she really regretted it. And, she took them to court and, made it much harder for everyone, but fine, it's all been sorted out now, and you can get puberty blockers. And this other girl who has a beard and is now allegedly a man says, oh yeah, this was the best thing I ever did. That's not a balanced discussion at all. That's just pushing gender transition at children. And when we see countries around the world putting the brakes on and saying, actually, there isn't the evidence to show that this is safe. We're quite concerned about the long-term health effects, effects on bone density, on brain development, all those things. As puberty is a time when your body is laying down the foundations for the rest of your life. It's a completely natural process, and sort of stopping with it has never, ever been done before in human history. And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the phrase. But certainly there are a lot of concerns, long-term health concerns about puberty blockers. We're seeing young girls now with osteoporosis and arthritis. And you take testosterone as a woman, and it's very difficult to come back from that. But there's no balanced discussion. It's just propaganda. And what gets me about this, right? If this was like Asterix, for example, another great cartoon book. So in great literature is not cartoons. This is not a book that would be read in a classroom. It wouldn't be studied for GCSE literature. It has absolutely no literary merit whatsoever. Fine, of course, Waterstones are going to sell cartoon books because they sell and they're fine. And we have a phrase in our house: donut books. So certain authors and certain books, they're allowed. My kids are allowed to read them. Of course, they are. But it's like a donut, you don't have too much of it. So David Walliams being one of those, don't get me started. But so the cartoon books are like the donut books. They're not the books that you would study all the time. And certainly, not really about it. And yet Waterstones have thought this worthwhile to put on a children's prestigious literature award. I suppose Harry Potter came out too late, but everyone would have sneered at Harry Potter, but and they did when Harry Potter came out. Everybody sneered at it. Oh, it's not great literature. It's blah blah blah. But I don't think Harry Potter should be on there, or it's not The Magician's Nephew, is it? It's not C.S. Lewis. It's just a very crude cartoon book pushing gender ideology. And actually, I've been blown away by the success of this petition. This has been the most successful petition I've run, I think, in the past year. And the numbers just exploded. And I'm going to keep plugging it, and we are going to do some offline. What I would like to do is get a decent children's book and see if I can get a decent children's book into schools and libraries, because this is a problem. Once this book goes on this list, then schools go, oh yes, it must be very good, mustn't it? Waterstones say. And same with libraries. So actually, I think there's a case for countering their propaganda with some better propaganda. And the other thing, actually, sorry Peter, while I'm on Waterstones, the other thing is that they appear to have been suppressing two books, one by Helen Joyce called Trans, and the other by Hannah Barnes called Time to Watch or Time to Wait, and it's an investigation of the Tavistock Gender Identity Clinic. And lots of people have been going into Waterstones and asking for copies of these books, and finding that Waterstones staff have basically hidden them out the back.
Wow.
And that they can't get them. I went into Waterstones in Godalming and asked for them, and no, I don't have any of those. No, you'll have to order them. And certainly some of the more woke stores in London, there's been reports of staff hiding them away. So actually, Waterstones, you are a leading high street retailer, and you enjoy a lot of customer trust.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't abuse it.
Let me, the viewers and listeners can go to citizengo.org and go and have a look at those petitions, sign it, but also put it on your social media profile, send it on to others. Don't only you go and click on sign it, but make others aware of it as well. And then you'll be passing the word and raising the concern of this, and also introducing people to Citizen Go. So go and do that. When you finish watching this, have a click on it and make use of that.